It's round 7 of the Sixtysimthings GT3 Season 4. This time it's from Nurburgring. How did it all go? Well, watch the film and you'll find out. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of Wolfie's Wheels in the continuation series of the Sixtysimthings GT3 Series 4. It's now round 7 and we've gone to Nurburgring. But before we talk a bit about Nurburgring, well, who are Sixtysimthings and what do they do? Well, Sixtysimthings are a sim racing league designed for people over 60 years of age who want to play Assetto Corsa Competizione on a PC. And it's all about having fun. You can find out more about Sixtysimthings at a video they've done, which I shall actually put a connection to at the end of this film. So if you're interested in Sixtysimthings, then look at that film and see if you think it's for you. Anyway, back to Nurburgring. So where is Nurburgring? Well, it's in Germany, and despite being called Nurburgring, it's actually nowhere near Nuremberg. It's quite a few hours drive away from Nuremberg. And if you're actually wanting to go there from the UK, you're probably best flying into either Dusseldorf or Cologne Airport. It is approximately 1.5 hours drive from Cologne Airport, or about 2 hours drive from Dusseldorf Airport. Alternatively, of course, you might want to go by car, in which case from the UK you'd go to probably the Calais ferry, and it would take you about 5.5 or 6 hours with a couple of stops to get there. So it's a fair stretch really in European road trip time terms. It is, however, only about 1.5 hours from Spa in Belgium. So you could actually combine the two. You could have a trip to Spa and then go on to Nurburgring after that. So Nurburgring is located in the Eifel area of West Germany, and it's a very famous track. And there are multiple circuits, including, of course, the famous Nordschleife, which is the long track, which we are not racing on today. We're racing actually on the GP track, which has been in its current format since 2002. It is 3.2 miles or 5.14 kilometres long and has 15 turns. It's a little bit vague, or I'm being a little bit vague, simply because the circuit itself has got many different layouts. It's a very versatile circuit, but the facts I've given for distances and turn numbers, etc., relate to the circuit as being used by the league in today's race. In terms of how fast are people around it, well, the real life lap record is 152 something, and I'll, as usual, put the numbers up. The fast sim racers are doing it at 153 something, and again it's down there somewhere. Our fast sim racers in our league, namely on this occasion Andy Policott, 156 something, with most people being about 157 to 159. You'll notice I haven't put my own time up there, and that's because actually in this race I don't take part because I wasn't around when the race took place. Took place. So the film actually is showing everybody else's race, but not mine, because as I say, I wasn't there. However, in terms of championship, well, you'll have to wait to the end to see just what the impact of that is and why. It doesn't necessarily matter if you don't compete in every round. So with all that said, and without further ado, let's leap into the race, and we'll start with, as usual, the grid walk. So on the grid walk, we've got Andy Policott in the Lamborghini Huracan in pole, 1 minute 56.332. Then in second place in the McLaren is Stu Charles, 1 minute 56.6. That's very close. We come down to the second row on the grid as we walk our way towards the fans' firm favourites, who are, of course, Andy Gore and Steve Hancock. Now, Andy is still up on his jacks in the Ferrari, qualified in 1 minute 57.182, whilst Steve, just in the BMW, 1 minute 57.337, so again very close. And then we come to the third and final row on the grid. There's only 6 people taking part today. And in 5th position, we have Mike Hansen, qualifying in 1:59.337. And for some reason, due to camera distortions, this Porsche looks tiny, but it isn't, it is full size, with Craig Thomas in 6th place. So as ever, we'll take the first lap looking at the helicopter camera. This time we're going to actually be following Steve Hancock because he's nice in the middle of the pack, and hopefully we can keep all the cars in the same shot. I'm not entirely sure that will actually happen, but you never know. You can look forward to a close race here. Positions 1 and 2 are close, qualifying as were 3 and 4, as were 5 and 6. So we're just coming around the curve, approaching the start-finish line. Hold your speed, got to hold it at a steady 70 kilometers an hour or less. Go, go, go! Come down past the pits. Into quite an awkward right-hander here. The road comes in at you from the left, it's downhill, and quite a sharp right. But look at the start there that Craig got in the Porsche. So it's not quite as tidy now, is it? It's very close. Well, I don't know what happened there. Something, as Mike's through there, lifts the door open for him and he's through it. There, Craig gets pushed back down into 6th. So we haven't got any timings up at the moment. We've not gone past the timing lines. There's everybody filing down. And the right-hander. So it's already reasonably well spread out into the hairpin. Got about the length of the hairpin separating the cars at the moment. As I say, I had rather hoped to get more cars in the picture all at once, but it's just not possible. So guys, if you could keep closer together during the first lap, it would really help my filming. Round the right-hander now onto quite a long straight. Probably the fastest part of the circuit. Let's see how fast. Well, in fact, we'll look at that a bit later on, how fast we can get on this straight. Come down into the chicane. Past the pit entrance there. Around the right-hander. And across the line, and you can see reasonably well spread out already. So normally at this juncture we'd take the first lap ride on my car, but as I'm not there, as I said earlier, we'd actually ride with Mike. It was Mike who was good enough to supply it with spectator footage to me, which has enabled me to put the film together. Anyway, we come up, there's a flag drops, and watch Craig. I mean, what a fantastic start that was. Yeah, wowza, absolutely like a bullet. Like a bullet, you can hear that Porsche. So we come down into Paul Harkin, which is this awkward right-hander. Sort of downhill, quite sharp, over to the right. I hate this section, I'm really slow through this section. Oh, you go back and look at that. It's the Mercedes Arena area. Come round this left-hander here. Just in front of you about now is the AMG stand, which is what's the name of the Mercedes Arena. Brake hard for Valvoline curve. And then you've got this quite awkward right-hander here again, forward curve, which is downhill. So you've got to load the front left tyres up a bit before you start turning in. Flying down here into, I'm not going to pronounce this, Dunlop hairpin. Uphill section. And next is a left-right flick known as the Michael Schumacher S's. Bang, bang. And up under the bridge. Very hard for the mission of the curve. Very easy actually to run wide on this curve. and then Vorsteiner curve on the right, and we come down the long fast straight with this flat unnamed, oh, Abraham Bogan, it has got a name, flat out through there. Come up to NGK chicane, bang, bang, and then past the pit entrance, Coca-Cola curve, right-hander, leads on nicely to the start, finish straight, and here we are, over the line. What we'll do now is we'll look at the amazing start that Cove had, and exactly what happened with Steve had in the Mercedes Arena area. So what a start that was, braking hard, coming down, and this dives to the right, makes it through quite safely, holds his line, I think, and I think it's just a bit of paint rubbing. I don't think there's anything deliberate whatsoever there. It certainly allows Mike to get through. Let's have a look at this then from following Steve. As I said, there was definitely nothing horrible going on there. It's just one of those things. To brakes, I think it's just cold tyres. I think it just doesn't quite turn sharp enough, and leaves the door open for Mike, so it all kind of turned a bit nasty for him. We'll just follow Steve for a little bit on the old TV cam. Obviously, he qualified ahead of both Mike and Craig, so theoretically he's faster. A slight error, lost him a place. But let's see if he goes away in hot pursuit of Mike. But we'll just sit back and watch the action for a bit, and I'll just throw in the odd thing every so often. Mike really pushing it as is. Look, I mean, that is just so close. A very, very minor mistake, and you know, you lose the place. It just goes to show these fine tolerances that we're racing to here. And there was nothing of a thing going into the chicane, but it was just enough to let Steve get through. Of course, Mike's not going to give up anyway, and why should he? They're both pushing very hard, and a slight error in that right-hander there from Steve has allowed Mike to close right up. 0.192 of a second, it looks closer than that to me. He's practically pushing him along. And you know, let's not write Craig off, he's not completely out of the picture. Literally. Come round a Dunlop, and then we'll just jump inside with Mike after this, just for the remainder of this lap, or perhaps a bit longer. I can't quite remember. I'm doing these voiceovers sort of while I'm watching the film. It's always quite interesting. Left-hander, slightly wide, both of them are really pushing hard. Down it's a long straight. A lot of curbs there, so a lot more than a lot of people take. I don't take that much, but then I'm not that great a driver, just saying. Down the NGK, it's Coca-Cola. Up and over the line, just stay on board for a bit longer. This arena complex, I always struggle with this. Probably not as fast as I try and make it, but I think that's the problem. I won't overdrive in this section. This left-hander, I mean, you know, mid 70 kilometres an hour. And Mike, I think I try and go a bit too quick, which hurts the overall lap time. This is another one that's easy to overdo it on. I've seen that gravel track many a time myself. And also, to be fair, spun completely there. So, we'll get to the curb. And a Dunlop. Two Michael Schumacher misses. Forward a lot there, a lot of, I mean, you can just see how hard they're pushing. We saw earlier, very fine margins, very slight error will let somebody through. It's a bit wide there. And in the usual way, we'll jump on board for a hot lap with the fast guy, so we'll ride around in Hollycott. Comes across the line back there, and first right hand, and you see it comes across quite hard from the left. Nicely taken into the stadium complex. We're very interested to see how fast he is around the left-hander. What gear into first? Yeah, so it's high 70s, high 70s. I'm not saying much because I'm just kind of watching. It's very smooth so far, a lot of sawing at the wheel. It's an effortless drive to the shops for him. Probably doesn't feel like that from his cockpit. Come up to the Schumacher S's, and the speed here, I mean that is phenomenal. Nearly 200 kilometres on the apex of the right-hander, about 20 clicks more than I get. A bit of sawing there. And we'll come down onto this straight, and what we'll do, we'll have a look at his speed at the apex of this right-hander. So it's 190, 210, 225 to 26. We're still going up to 45. Into NGK, the side, bit of sawing at the wheel, and Coca-Cola, across the line in 1 minute 56.4, which is a good lap. We take a look at Mike, makes a slight mistake at the NGK chicane, a bit too much curb season, flying into the air, onto the grass. It's so easy to spin off, but he manages to keep it going. Comes back onto the track. Phew, brown trousers. And then we'll just follow a lap on the old TV cam with Stuart in the 720S McLaren. Now this McLaren in this configuration is the one that holds the Assetto Corsa Competizione lap record with Dave Pertile, also known as Coach Dave of Coach Dave Delta. So he knows a thing or two. So we know it's a great car, we know Stuart's a good driver, so it's just to observe and enjoy the lap. It's not always as easy with these TV cams to know exactly where people are on the track. I think it's coming down to Ford, right-hander at Ford curve, a lot of curb. And then the next section should be Dunlop hairpin on right. Looks like it's Dunlop hairpin. Who into Schumacher S's. Comes round right-hander here onto the fast straight. Let's just see how fast we get up to 237, 230, 242, yeah, 242, so 245 was Andy, so just a little bit slower in the car. And he comes into the pits anyway to finish his lap, because we all need to do a pit stop. Who doesn't love a pit stop in this game? So he slows it right down. In time for the line yet, a bit early, but okay, better safe than sorry. There we have it. And continuing the theme of let's follow a racer as they go around the track, we'll now follow Andy Gore, again from a GB cam, just for a lap, just to see what speed he's going and where and so on. And as usual, I'll probably be reasonably quiet because I've not got a lot to say on these. Let's just watch this, because I generally drive this Ferrari as well. So, yes, it's quite quick through there. Oh no, 74 at the apex, yeah, okay. So I definitely try too hard through that section. Definitely. And it's the wonderful thing about being able to watch other people's replays on their own machine. You can learn so much. And come round Dunlop. That's a Schumacher. Left into Michelin, keeps it nice and tidy. And come round onto the long straight. And again, we'll just see how fast we get. So that's 2:30s, 9:40, 44, 45, 46, 46, 2:46. So that is the fastest car we've seen down there. It's faster than Andy Polycott by 1 kilometre an hour. And we come over the line now. I say now, I kind of mean now, to complete the lap. And then we'll follow Craig in the Porsche. I mean, the Porsche sounds amazing. So I don't personally like driving the Porsche. I find it a real handful. It's different people's driving styles, I guess. But, not for me. We did do a series in some GT3 challenge Porsches or something. I had a terrible job keeping out on the track. Anyway, round this left-hander, how fast? 79, 78. A lot of curb there. No reason not to. And I guess GT3 Porsche at Nurburgring is a pretty iconic combination. Dunlop. And Schumacher's 182 coming out of there, so as I say, 200 kilometres out of that second section there by Andy. We come around this one onto the fast section, and let's just see how fast we get this time in the Porsche. I mean, look how far it revs. It revs to about 8,000 revs. Amazing. 240. 242 before braking hard. And come round the Coca-Cola. Finish the lap off. Oh, what's that? Andy Gore drive-through over the line. We'll go and have a look at that, see what's happened to poor old Andy. To ride on board with Andy's is coming into the pit lane. He comes round into the pit lane. He needs to slow down to 50 kilometres an hour. I suspect that's been the problem. You know, he's well under it. Oh no, he's gone over the line. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed it, it just flashed up over the speed limit. But we'll jump on board with Mike, who is very closely behind him, coming into the pits. He'll slow down in time as well as Andy in front. So slows it right down. That's pretty perfect, is that? Keeps the pit limiter on and down to the pits. So we'll join Andy again just at the end of the pit stop. He comes out of the pits and there's no drive-through show, so that's good. He thinks he's got away with it, as we all do. It doesn't tell you till quite late, and it's not till you get to the end of the pit lane there, it flags itself up. So, I mean, it's barely over the limit for any length of time. Jump on board with Steve Hancock, as something quite interesting happens at the end of the pits here. So there you go, that's Andy just coming out. So there's not a lot in this. Andy's got cold tyres, or cooler tyres, and has got no sort of momentum because he's just come out of the pits. So if there's a chance here for Steve, it's now. But I'm guessing that Steve will have noticed the drive-through for Andy, which means realistically, Andy's probably some 25 to 30 seconds behind him, because once he's served, wow, is that a bit off? Once he's served his drive-through, of course, it will not be anywhere near. So personally, I would probably just back it off a bit here and know that I'm going to take the place. But I guess different people have different racing driver instincts, and maybe Steve's more of a fighter than I am. He's just going to go for it anyway. And third and fourth place. I think Andy has 3 laps in which he can serve his drive-through. At this stage we're quite late in the race as well. So we'll come round right angle. Let's just see how fast we get on the BMW M4 GT3. 237, 243, 245, 246. Did I see 247? It's either 246 or 247. So it's certainly as fast as anything else on the track. And he's not gone in for his drive-through. So we're going to continue for another lap here. And he is anyway. And not out of this battle, of course, is Mike, who is not that far reared behind Steve. You see him in the distance. So Mike will also know that Andy's got to come in. So there's a freebie up for grabs. So he's probably going to try and close down on Steve. And I guess this is one of the reasons why, even though you know you've got the place in front of you because the guy's got a drive-through, if you don't push, somebody behind you will catch up. So yeah, that's a very fair point. Because if Steve slowed down too much, of course Mike would just close that gap. He's closed it a bit already from the start of the lap. Round Ford curve. Can't actually see Andy in shot. He's already gone round the Schumacher crest. Let's see what Mike can get out of the car coming out of the second part. Yeah, 187, yeah. It's probably about the same speed as I can do that at. We'll come round this right-hander. Let's just see how fast the Aston Martin can get down this one straight. And we're going up to 240, 245, 6, 7, 247. Definitely 247 Aston. That does make it as quick as anything else on the track. So Andy's still out. And now it's a couple of laps later and Andy has served his drive-through penalty. He's come out behind Craig. He's 3 seconds behind Craig and there's probably only a couple of laps to go. Bearing in mind that Andy qualified with a thick end of 2 seconds faster than Craig, the question is there enough time left in this race for Andy to catch him? And if he does catch him, can he get round him? Because as we all know in this game, catching someone is one thing, but getting in front of them is another. So let's just sit back and see what happens and how this unfolds. It could go many ways. You may recall the very close finish at Spa between Andy Gore and Steve Hancock, which cements them as crowd favourites when there was basically a photo finish across the line. Are we in for another close finish like that? We'll have to hang about and stick with it and see what happens. I think just looking at that time, 3.3, I think that's slightly made a slight advantage as Craig so far. Let's see how it comes down. And that gap does look a little bit smaller to me, but you need to wait for various timing lines. .59, yep, it's closed in. And this, I think, you'll find is going to be the last lap, because it's a 30-minute race, and about 2 minutes a lap. Then you can see, Andy Policott 14 laps. Probably on his last lap, so Andy will know that, and he will know that it's now or never. I say now, I mean this lap. Now. 2.48, it's come down a little bit. A little bit wide, but he may get a good drive, might Andy. He's really pushing. Don't know whether that's just concertina effect of the curve, but it looks a bit closer to me. Not sure where the next timing line is. Certainly keep our eyes peeled for that. .75, yep, 1.725. Definitely closing on it. Craig needs to defend for all his worth. And he will sense very much that he's running out of time to do anything here. As I say, catching is one thing. It's gone a bit wide, Everyone's pushing out. And as we come up to chicane. Unfortunately, the film is just about to run out, so we're not going to actually see live action as to what happens across the line. However, across the line, in first place, we do get Andy Policott, Lamborghini, followed by Stuart Charles, 720 McLaren, and then coming across in third is Mike Hansen in the Aston. And then the film actually does kind of just run out, so we've just got a still picture here of Steve crossing the line in fourth, followed by, Craig crossing it in fifth, followed by Andy crossing the line in sixth. And there, my friends, is the race. And so that was the race from Nurburgring. We'll just now have a quick check and confirmation of the results, and you'll be able to see that the winner was Andy Policott in the Lamborghini Huracan. Second place was Stu Charles in the McLaren 720. Third place went to Mike Hansen in the Aston Martin. Fourth was Steve Hancock in the BMW M4. Craig managed to hold on to his 5th place in the 992 GT3 Porsche, and after a very unfortunate incident in the pits, Andy Gore came in 6th in the Ferrari. Now, I do think, to be fair, that Andy was a bit unfortunate because you know, to get that drive-through. Okay, so the pit limiter didn't quite work in the way that it was intended, but it was a pretty brief burst over 50, and the drive-through completely changed the dynamics of his race. So it's very unfortunate for him, really. But be that as it may, the current overall standings in the championship, this is round 4 of the GT3 championship for the 60Simthings, looks as you can see on the overlay, which is Andy Policott in the 1st position, Stuart Charles in 2nd position, Mike Hansen in 3rd, Steve Hancock in 4th, Will Rayson in 5th, myself, Wolfgang Scoggins, in 6th, 7th is Andy Gore, 8th is Craig Thomas, 9th is Bob Jones, and in 10th place is David Blythe. You'll see on the score sheet there that you've got scoring events and total events. And the reason behind that is that it's accepted that it's very difficult to commit to all 9 races in the series. So only 6 score. And to avoid confusion, you've got the column that says scoring events. So you can sort of see how many events you've taken part in, and this is the score from the best 6. So you only actually need to compete in 6ths of the 9 races, and you're not really disadvantaged. Although, of course, what that does mean is that as your worst scores will be the rounds which you didn't compete in, you really do need to make everyone count if you're not going to compete in them all. And that's just how it all lays out. So I hope you enjoyed the film. Sorry? Yeah, okay, well, where's the next one from? Well, if you subscribe to the channel and push the bell icon, you will always know, because you'll be told when the next film comes out of the next round. Or alternatively, you can go over to Sixtysimthings.com and have a look at the website, and that gives you all the schedules for all of the races, not just the GT3 series, but also the GT4s which we're running, and also the currently Lamborghini Trofeo Championship as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the film. If you did, please give it a like, tell your mates, feel free to share it. You may even like to subscribe. And that's really it for today. And I just look forward to seeing you in the future episode of A Wolfie's Wheels. Bye.